Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them I'm ready, any opponent. The crown heavy and every minute is chosen. A path only fit for kings, and you won't know what this court means. What did you enlist for? If it isn't getting more rings, then you gon' have to switch your team. Trust me, it gets more mean. I'm a nightmare going up against your dreams. First step is explosive like a bomb hit. Bet if I let it fly, I cannot miss. And you ain't got a chance at the top 10 when you getting clamped all night by your locksmith. On the block throwing lobs to my top bigs. I'm a chef, no look, what's the top dish? Tie game, through the pressure as the clock ticks. Crossover, step back, hit a shot, swish. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. This is how champions are made, but it never happens in a day.
Woo! What's going on, man? This is the Rock Show, the podcast. Man, that's such a cool intro. That's actually Betty Rose on guitar playing that little riff that you hear going into this. But welcome to that Arena Rock Show, the podcast. This episode is going to be about women in rock and roll. Pretty awesome subjects, right, Seebass?
Oh, yeah, definitely agree. Hang on a second. I got to see this concert I'm watching.
What?
Oh, this is so cool.
What are you doing?
I'm watching a Kiss concert from the 70s, dude.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you've got the, what is that? What's that thing called? The Viewfinder.
The Viewfinder, right? The Viewmaster.
Yeah.
Bought this for $90, man.
Wow. Holy cow.
Wow.
Better be a good concert up in there, man.
Oh, it looks like the first concert, man, from the clubs. Oh,
yeah?
This is cool.
From your live tour?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, oh, man, Ace Frehley looks really young in there.
Hey, and we also have Josh DeBord from DeBord Room and whatthebuzz.com joining us today. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Good.
We're hanging, doing everything we can for this new year. It's 2021. You know that?
Thank God, right? 2020 it was something.
It was. Oh man. I cannot stress enough how glad I'm to hear the words 2021.
Right.
2020.
Yeah, I was thinking this when we were playing our show the other day. Is like, obviously today or the day after 2020 is not going to be that much better, but it is nice to just know that year is behind us, and I think there's a little bit of light at the end of this tunnel. Hopefully, it's just not a train.
Sure, that would be a disaster,
right?
But speaking of New Year and everything, you guys did do a show, right?
Yeah, over at JD Legends in Franklin. Fun time. You guys were both there.
We were.
Yes, I believe Josh was the closest, right?
I was there right in the middle from when Nikki and T-Bone. I turned around and they're both behind us on another little stage to that acoustic stuff, and so we were right in the middle of the main stage and where you guys came out and performed. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
For better seats. JD Legends did a really good job with that indoor setup as well.
Oh yeah, I'm very impressed with that. I'm actually like, wow, they actually managed to get a stage right onto their bowling alley. That's pretty cool.
I know. Like Terry and Steve and Waspy have just done an incredible job of saving live music for Southern Ohio. Without that venue, there's not very many places that bands like ours can play. So very thankful for that. And they do it in a very safe way. I think everything's social distance. They, I know it's not as fun with, they might be telling you to sit down or whatever, but
right.
I think it's for the best for everybody. I think you can still sit down and enjoy the show and whatnot. But my hats are off to Terry and Steve for building that, and Waspy for letting them do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of fun. I see a couple people were there. Denise and Emma on the feed here were at that show. We got to do a lot of really cool stuff that in a normal setting we probably wouldn't have been able to. We were able to do that acoustic thing where we came out and think of like bands like Shinedown or Kiss. How Paul Stanley flies out to that to the middle of the arena and plays a song. Well, me and Tristan thought it would be really cool to do something like that with an acoustic song. We did like these Unplugged series earlier this year, and a lot of people really liked them. So we thought, we need to make sure we do an acoustic moment in every show. And when we were putting this show together, we were like, what can we do that's kind of different and special? And because there wasn't, 1,000 people on the floor, and because it was social distance and stuff like that, we were able to set up a stage out in the middle of the venue and get up there and play acoustic for the people in the back, because some of the people in the back, I think the whole place had a really good view of the show.
Oh, yeah.
I think that people want to be close to the musicians, right? I mean, I do.
Yeah.
Go to a concert. So I thought that was a really cool opportunity to kind of surprise them with that, to stand out there and play the song acoustic and have the band, up front playing the rest of it. And it was a lot of fun. I hope we get to do that moment more often. Something I've been wanting to do for a long time. It's just trying to make it happen with, like I said, with packed crowds and stuff like that. You start losing capacity and stuff like that when you build a stage in the middle of a floor. So with that show specifically, we were able to do it with no issues, and it was really cool.
I think you guys pulled it off really well. But I also wanted to hear, Josh, it was your parents' first time seeing them. What did they think?
It's funny because my sister's the reason that I came to your guys' concert a couple of years back, because she worked there, and I was like, Rock of Ages with Tom Cruise is my favorite movie, so that's where my music lies. So I was like, oh my God, this is like seeing that in concert. So I came and checked you guys out, and I was like, yeah, these are great, and I've seen every concert since. But my mom and dad hadn't seen you guys yet, and she hadn't either. She never worked the night of the concert, so all these years she's been there, she hasn't seen you live. Very impressed. My dad loved the Van Halen design on Geddy's guitar. That was badass. Man, for him, it's like nostalgia. It's like back in the 80s, listening to stuff that he grew up on. So it's really cool. You guys crushed it. There's a couple things you guys done I hadn't heard before. Obviously, the acoustic was something I haven't heard, which was really cool. Purple Rain was a nice twist. I hadn't heard that be thrown in before. That was really cool. And Thunderstruck, my favorite one. So when you guys dropped that was great. They really enjoyed it. And we have Archie from The Buzz. He's coming to Ohio, COVID pending in May. So we're hoping maybe around the time he's here, hopefully you guys are maybe back around the area by then, so I can bring him to see you guys live. So
I just talked to a guy up from a booking agency today about doing a show in Hartford City, Indiana in May. So May 22nd.
Oh, wow.
May 22nd is my birthday.
Oh, no way. That's awesome.
Birthday.
So if Archie's in town, man, you guys will have to come. It's at some kind of a festival out there in Hartford City. So
that's not too bad.
Yeah, we should be confirmed here soon. So hoping that one comes through.
Well, I will say this though, you guys played like 3 new songs, I think. From what I know, Bullet Boys and Autograph, and there was something else I can't remember.
We haven't played Cherry Pie in a while, and we put that
Cherry Pie, that's it, yeah. It was kind of funny when my grandmother, she liked the show, by the way. She was really impressed with you guys. But when you guys were playing Smooth Up Enya, she looked at me and was all like, what are they saying? Jalapenos? Why are they saying jalapenos? And I just looked at her like, no, Nana, they're saying Smooth Up Enya. And she just like, what? I'm like,
oh, that's great.
And I'm just like, I'll explain later. Oh my gosh. It was
my sister's singing along, and I was like, "Do you realize what you're singing?" I was like, "You better stop singing that out loud right now." I was like, "Who's gonna be like? Who's the guy?" And she's just like, "You don't even know what you're saying." But,
well, hey, look, when you guys started playing Schools Out, somebody in the background thought you guys were going to play Girls School from Brittany Fox. And I just looked up like, this is Schools Out, not Brittany Fox.
Yeah.
That would have been a good song, though.
That would, yeah. Tristan could nail that, right? That's his voice right there.
Dude, his energy is insane. Like
I love T-Bone's energy.
I feel like he runs a 5-mile marathon when he's on stage.
Yeah. Oh, the dude's the complete showman. I've watched that kid go from a karaoke singer to coming over to my house and starting to rehearse to turning into one of the best frontmen, period, I think. So it's kind of, I don't know, I feel like a proud dad or something, like watching him over the years, like turn into this really, really entertaining guy. So I'm very, very proud of him. I'm proud of all those guys in the band, man. Getty Rose had to step up and learn how to play lead guitar this year, and just absolutely killing it. I remember the day he came over, and we're like, we needed a new guitar player. He's like, "Hey, I'll do it," and I'm like, "Okay, we'll give you a shot." And he came over and nailed everything, and we were just like, "Oh, didn't know you could do all of that." Oh, yeah. So he nailed that, and then we had Jack.
Oh my gosh, Jack. Great bass player, man.
Dude. Just sick, man. The bass solo he does is just like, how do you do that?
That kid gets into it.
I don't hear very many bass players play like that. You know what I mean?
No, not at all. I mean, the way that kid gets into it and the way he talks to the crowd and hypes them up with that solo, I'm just like, there are not many bass players that can just go up there and do that. They usually look at the bass player and go like, bass player, whatever. No, this guy, he catches us.
Yeah.
And I'm impressed with him.
Very, very entertaining on the skills. So, and then Ryan, known him forever, and he's just a solid drummer. One of my favorite drummers to play with. So, I don't mean to brag, but I literally love my band. So, it's a blessing to be able to play with them every chance, every time that we get to. Side note, you were talking about Bullet Boys and us playing that song. That was the first time we played that, and we recorded it. We recorded the whole show, and we put out a little snippet of the Bullet Boys song. And I seen someone tag the drummer and the guitar player from Bullet Boys, the original lineup, and on the post. And the drummer put like a praise hands or something on the post, and liked the post in general. So I was like, that's pretty cool.
Guys, the Bullet Boys drummer liked your guys' stuff. Yeah. That right there.
The fact that he watched it was cool,
We should get him on here.
That would be sick. Yeah, man. So we did that, and we did Turn Up the Radio, which was a new one for us, which was fun. So yeah, it was a really fun show. Actually, I had a lot of fun after the show. We were loading out, and earlier that day, Kiss did a stream for like New Year's. It was over in Dubai.
Oh yeah.
And I bought it. I watched maybe the first hour of it, and then I had to get ready to go up to JD Legends, so I didn't get to watch the rest of it. And so I went. We were loading out, and I was telling Steve and Terry about the Kiss stream, and they're like, "Throw it up on the screen." I was like, "Okay." So we logged into my account and put the video up, and they played the Kiss concert on the big LED screen that was behind the drums.
Oh, wow.
On all the TVs. And then they let us bowl for an hour or two and fed us some pizza. So top-notch group over there at JD Legends. Can't thank them enough. That was one of the best ways that we could have went out of 2020 going into 2021. I think it just it set us off in the right direction, just mentally, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, it was a great way to end the year. I mean, when I look back at 2020, two of the for sure funnest times I had this year was I think it was mid-May when you guys were at Legends the first time.
Yeah.
got to bring two of my best friends to see you guys for the first time they'd seen you guys in live, and they enjoyed it. And that was a really fun night. That was actually outside.
Yeah.
And then this one where I got to bring my parents, and it was a cool way to end it. Legends did a good job. When I first started podcasting, Watsu was nice enough to bring me and my co-host to my wrestling show, Chuck. He brought us in, interviewed us, kind of gave us a 30-minute podcast thing with him to kind of help us grow a little bit of a following to start off. So him and Terry are great people. They treat my sister really well. She's worked there for a few years. Great place. And hopefully I'll get you guys to be there a few more times this year.
I think so. So it was a good night, and I think that we'll be there this summer or maybe before. So we'll see.
It works for me. JD Legends is a nice 10-minute drive from where I live, so that works out.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, it looks nice. For me, it's 20 minutes, but hey, I'm still good with it.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned briefly about female bands and the top female performers, right?
Yeah. So that's what the episode's going to be, right? Women in rock and roll. We're going to give our top 5 favorite artists, whether it be solo artists or bands that are female or female fronted or have female artists, right? So that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to take all of our favorites and, mold it into a list of our, what do you call it?
Like the most chosen, you pick this person, but I picked them.
Agreed upon top 5.
It'll be our group top 5.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's a lot of female artists out there, so it's really hard to choose. So, what do you have, Nikki?
Right. So for those of you watching, and I see you all in the comments there. I see Kyle, Michelle, Nancy, Jody.
Hi,
Emma.
Kyle.
Who are your favorite women artists in rock and roll? It can be from whenever. We based most of our top 5 on 70s and 80s rock and roll, but if you like people from today,
look at that. Nancy actually said Hailstorm.
Yeah. Awesome. Emma said Lizzie Hale and Joan Jett are the best. Just comment and let us know who your favorite is, and maybe there's some that we're not thinking of in our list that should be. You know what I mean? So let us know what you think. But yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and get into this, we can. Do we need to run a commercial first, or are we gonna go straight into it?
We're good to go.
We're good to go? Okay.
We're getting a lot of Lita Fords now.
Yeah. Lita Ford.
Yeah.
I love her already.
So, all right. Do we get like a drum roll? All right. I'm going to go with my top 5. And so at 5, I put these in order. At 5, I've got Nita Strauss. She's the guitar player for Alice Cooper currently. She was known for working with the Iron Maidens, which is an all-female Iron Maiden tribute band. Hands down amazing. I've seen the band, not with her in it, but the current lineup, and they are just, I think Courtney Cox is the other guitar player, and Nikki Stringfield. Amazing. I can't even play that stuff. So,
I've never seen them, actually. I've always wanted to see the Iron Maidens.
Yeah, do yourself a favor and do it. They're phenomenal. She was also in bands including Consume the Fire and Femme Fatale. She was the in-house guitarist for the Los Angeles Kiss when Kiss had their own arena football team.
Oh, wow.
She would do the national anthem. I think that's where I actually heard of her. And then she replaced Orianthi in 2014 as Alice Cooper's guitar player. Mm-hmm. And when I seen her with him, I was just like blown away. She's just a hell of a performer, amazing guitarist, shreds like you wouldn't believe. And then she was also in the 2017 Netflix documentary Hired Gun. Have you ever seen that?
Yes, I have. It's a good documentary.
Yeah.
Good stories by all those legends.
Yeah, it's amazing what those guys go through. So, or girls, guys and girls. Yeah. So number 4 on my top 5 list of women in rock and roll, I did go a little more modern. I went with Lizzie Hale. She's the lead singer of Hailstorm. I seen Hailstorm open up for Saliva and Shinedown at Bogart's.
Oh wow!
And they were the first band on, right? And yeah, that's how early on it was. Shinedown was like headlining Bogarts. But anyways, they came on and they had like a probably 4 or 5 songs, and they were one of the first bands I watched, and I went, oh my God, like who is this? Like I had no idea who they were, and her voice was just incredible. The way she used to start out the show was she would start a cappella behind the stage. Nobody was on the stage. All you did is heard this amazing voice singing a song called "It's Not You," and then she would come out and do it on the stage, and then the band kicked in, and it was just they had everything from amazing talent to great stage performance, and then they were on it. I don't know why I remember this, but their merch girl was walking around in the audience right after they got done with their EP and like holding it up like, here, $10 if anyone wants to buy it. I always thought that was genius, because that's the best way to capture people. If you want to sell your product, as soon as you're done, bam, right in their face. So she's famous. Her Hailstorm's known for songs like "I Get Off," "It's Not You," "Love Bites," which actually won a Grammy. She's heavily influenced by 80s rock. On their covers EP, they recorded a killer version of "Slave to the Grind."
Oh yeah, great cover.
Yeah, and "Out to Get Me" by GNR, killer. And then she took lessons from Steve Whiteman from Kix.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Grew up in Pennsylvania, and that's where he's from. So and she's a huge Cinderella Tom Kiefer fan. Recorded a great version, like a duet with him, of "Nobody's Fool," and they used to perform it live. I think Tom would open for them, or vice versa, when they would tour, and just knock that out of the park. So yeah, Lizzie Hale at number 4, and number 3, I've got Heart, the Wilson sisters, right? Ann and Nancy, famous for Magic Man, which came out in 1975, Crazy on You, Barracuda, What About Love came out in 85. They kind of had like a resurgence in the 80s, kind of like a lot of them 70s bands, right? Like Aerosmith and Kiss. They had an 80s career. And All I Want to Do Is Make Love to You, which is a killer song. These Dreams, Alone, amazing. One of my favorite performances that they ever did was they performed a version of Stairway to Heaven at the Kennedy Center Honors for a tribute to Led Zeppelin. They did Stairway to Heaven, and it is amazing. If you've never seen it, YouTube Heart, Stairway to Heaven. It literally brought Robert Plant to tears. Jason Bonham was on drums. It was just an incredible moment. And they got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2000. So, good for them. They were inducted by Chris Cornell, which is kind of cool.
I did find that cool. And Wilson, she is amazing vocalist. I find her such a. She has really good pipes, and I always kind of made a joke about this. If Led Zeppelin wanted to replace Robert Plant, I would have picked Ann Wilson. I think that would have been interesting just to see.
Oh my God, the voice on her is just insane. I got to see them. I someone higher up on my list opened up for them like a summer or 2 ago, and I took my mom to go see that tour.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was incredible. So
my mom loved Heart.
Did she?
Yeah. Like on my main playlist to this day, Alone's like 13th. Like put my phone on shuffle, and it's like, Josh, what the hell? And it's like, dude, Alone is a classic. It's an all-time great song.
Amazing. What's weird is back in the 70s or 80s, it almost like I don't want to say the wrong thing, but it almost wasn't like normal for female artists to be in rock and roll. Did you guys kind of pick up on that or notice that?
Well, in a way, yes. I mean, you got to realize that, in the 70s, the 80s, rock and roll was a very guy thing. And the band groups like Heart, the Runaways, and all them, they kind of broke that and realized that, hey, we can do it too, and we do it just as better as the guys can.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Yeah,
but it was very hard for the girls to get what they wanted because, again, rock and roll was meant to be a guy thing. I'm not trying to make it sound like that, but you know what I'm trying to say.
At least back in the 80s, it was that way. I think now times have changed. Things.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
it's a different era now. Now women can do anything, which should have been the case back then. But it's a different time period. Things like my grandma tell me stuff back in the 70s and 80s. It's like I can't. What do you mean this is what you guys did?
Right.
So different now, and it's like that's insane that's the way things were. But I agree with you. In researching this, it was a struggle back then for them. But Ann and Nancy and a couple more on your list kind of helped kick that door open back then, which is kind of cool.
And going right along with that, number 2, another person that kicked that door down, especially from the beginning. She was in the Runaways, which was maybe one of the first all-female fronted rock bands. I could be wrong on that, but at least one of the most famous ones in the 70s. Lita Ford, like I said, she was in the Runaways and had a good career there, being the lead guitar player. And she did her first solo album in 1983 entitled "Out for Blood." From my research, it didn't do insane success, but she did another album in '84 called "Dance on the Edge," which got more attention. "Gotta Let Go" reached number 1 on the mainstream rock charts, which is a great song if you don't know it. Highly recommend you looking that one up.
Gotta let go.
There it is. That's so catchy, man. That's so catchy. And then in 1988, she signed with RCA Records and hired Sharon Osbourne, who dolled her up, helped her get more of a radio-friendly pop metal sound, and she came up with a new album called Lita, which was self-titled. It featured pretty much her biggest hits: "Kiss Me Deadly," which is a huge anthem. "Back to the Cave," "Close My Eyes Forever," which was her duet with Ozzy, right? Which is her most successful song.
That was my favorite Lita Ford song. My dad used to play that all the time, and I'm like, I don't know. Still to this day, it's something I'll throw on at least once every couple of days. Yeah.
Oh, that song gives me chills, man. That's such a great song. The video is really cool. You have that contrast of the beautiful girl and the.
I like 80s. I like the older videos compared to today's. I miss you'll watch a Heart video or a Lita Ford video, and just like the vibe of these videos from back in the day are just so much more. Hell, it's cooler than it is right now. Today's a different world, but you look back in the 80s. I always joke, I wish I was born back in the 80s because that's more of my time. That's my favorite decade of music.
Yeah.
We all joke about that. I always wanted that.
It was always the 90s, and it's like Britney Spears and NSYNC, and I'm like, okay, and all this stuff kind of dying down, and I'm like, my dad's plays all this stuff like "Close My Eyes Forever" is one of the first songs that I remember. It's like, that's Ozzy. I was like, that's the Crazy Train guys. He can do any kind of genre of music. He can sing that slow rock, the fast paced one. He's very, very good. I mean, she hit after hit. I typed in 15 hit songs she had. I mean, she just.
Yeah, she's had an amazing career. She dated and married a lot of famous people too. She was engaged to Tony Iommi. Married to Wasp guitarist Chris Holmes, which is probably best known for his scene in the Decline of Western Civilization. The metal.
That scene was sad.
It is. He's in the pool. God, if you've never seen it, he's in a pool on a float drinking, I think, whiskey. Just down.
Yeah, and the interviewer's trying to say, "Hey, okay."
Yeah, and his mom's sitting over there, on the side, just kind of it's just crazy. He was.
She also dated Nikki Sixx as well.
Yeah,
in fact, that song "Falling In and Out of Love" was not written by Lita; it was written by Nikki.
Right,
and Lita, used it.
Yeah. And then in '94 she married Jim Gillette, which is the singer of Nitro.
Yes.
And it sounded like they had like a crazy relationship because they moved to the Turks and the Caicos, like moved it to this island and kind of got off to themselves and kind of get away with music for a little bit. And it wasn't until 2008 till she finally came back and played again. And then in 2009 released a new album, which had more of like a new metalish sound. It's called Wicked Wonderland. I didn't really care for it, but in 2011 she put out another album that sounded more like herself called Living Like a Runaway. Which was pretty good. So Lita Ford is I actually got to meet her. I had the opportunity to go to NAMM, which is a guitar music convention out in California, Orange County, and she was doing an autograph signing. So me and Terry, actually from JD Legends, went over and got our picture with her. She was really, really cool. Yeah,
that's pretty nice.
Okay, I'm going to stop babbling and give you my number one favorite female rock and roll artist, the queen of rock and roll, Miss Joan Jett. To me, it doesn't get more rock and roll than Joan Jett. Obviously, she was in the Runaways as well. They had that hit song Cherry Bomb, which is a killer song. But she's probably most known for when she was in the Blackhearts, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. I Love Rock and Roll, which went to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for several weeks in 1982. Her other notable hit songs are Bad Reputation, great song, Crimson and Clover, Do You Want to Touch Me, Light of Day, which is actually the song in the movie Light of Day, if you've never seen it, with her and Michael J. Fox. Good movie.
Oh, yes, I did see that. Very good movie.
Yeah, I like that movie a lot. And then I Hate Myself for Loving You, which is probably one of my favorite guitar riffs on, in general. That's a killer guitar riff. And Dirty Deed, she did a cover of an AC/DC song. And in 2010, the Runaways, they had a movie done about them, and Kristen Stewart, the girl from Twilight, actually played Joan Jett.
Yeah, she did a good job, actually. I was really impressed with her.
An amazing job. And it was kind of a strange movie, but, that whole era was probably strange back in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
With being female-fronted, female rock and roll bands. But
yeah. I have the movie right now. We can watch it.
Yeah, turn it on. Let's go. I got my popcorn ready.
Let's do it.
But that's my top 5. So do we have the whole top 5 that we can show?
Yep.
I'll go over it. Yeah, so number 5, Nita Strauss. Number 4, Lizzie Hale. Number 3, the Harts Wilson sisters. I keep wanting to say the Hart sisters. Lita Ford at number 2 and Joan Jett at number 1. So that's my top 5 favorite female, women in rock and roll.
Clap. Yeah.
A lot of people agreed with you. Joan Jett at number 1 seemed to get a good response from everybody.
Yeah. And everyone watching, leave comments. Let me know what you think. And these guys are going to give their top 5. Let us know what you think of that. At the end, we're going to put a top 5 together, and we'll use your guys' opinions. Maybe we'll have you guys vote on it, on who needs to be 1, 3, 4, and 5. That could be fun.
Yeah.
Well, who's next?
Seabass, you or me?
Rock, paper, scissors?
Sure.
All right, here we go.
I did paper. I don't know what happened.
I didn't see what you guys did.
He did paper. I did scissors.
He won.
All right, you won.
All right, so Seabass's top 5.
All right. Okay. All right. The first top 5. I don't know how you really got this. Okay, so you have Heart listed. So I kind of did mine a little out of order, but that's good. Heart's fine. So number 5, yes, Heart. Nikki has actually stated a lot of things that I wanted to say. So thank you, Nikki, for making my job easier. Sure. I think this is like the first female band that I heard on the radio. When I heard Crazy on You, I'm like, who is this? And then looking them up, I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, this is cool. This was like the first time, I actually started listening to a female rock group. I think I was like 5 years old at the time when I heard this band. So it was new for me. I never heard, a female rock band until Heart came on. So I give them a lot of respect for, what they did. Also, my favorite song by him has to be Barracuda. The vocals on that, oh my gosh, the vocals.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot top that. And the guitar player, Nancy, Hugh agrees. She is like one of the best female guitarists out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love her. Love the way she plays. And she's such a good performer and great vocals as well when she has to sing. So I give her props for that. But then we got to go for number 4, and that is Pat Benatar. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
What can I say? She is like one of the best singers in rock history. I don't know if anybody's going to argue with me on that, but she has an incredible opera voice. You know, she made several hit songs. She had like one album, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it went like 4 times platinum in like the US and Canada. And I'm like, wow, I did not realize how successful this woman really was.
Yeah.
And I think I just respect what she did and what she stood up for in the, the female scene. Like the song Invincible. I don't know what your interpretation on that song is, but the way I hear that song, it's just, it's giving me the vibe that, we had to step up and, step up for ourselves and show that we can do better than what the other people can do. I mean, again, Pat Benatar is just that type of person, and I respect the heck out of her for that.
Yeah.
There's so many hit songs that I can't even think of right now, like, Heartbreaker and all that, but there's so many others that I like. I mean, I was listening to her this morning just to, get a quick vibe of what I needed to talk about. But
yeah,
again, it's just, that's her, man. I enjoy her a lot.
I like Hell is for Children. That's a killer tune.
There's another, that's a good song right there. Hell is for Children. Oh my gosh. The song that the way she, opens that up, talking about, about the kids, they go through abuse and all that. And that song is such a good example of what kids can go through with abusive parents and all that.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. I also respect her that she and her guitar player, Neil Girado, who is a great guitar player on his own right, is still with her to this day. And I think it's like, man, these are the 2 celebrities I know that can actually stay together.
Yeah.
So props to them.
Yeah.
Seriously. But so that's all I got for Pat Benatar. But what's number 3? Girls' School. Now this is an underrated band, and I wanted to. Wrong song.
Oh.
That's a good song though, and yes, I actually that's how I discovered these girls.
Oh, really?
I was looking up Brittany Fox, trying to get into them more because I only knew that one song, and then they popped up, and I'm like, who are they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, don't they do a cover of "Do You Love Me" by Kiss?
I think so. Yes, I can't remember exactly, but I do believe they do. The one song that I can remember the most is "Don't Call It Love." There's a weird music video on that. It's really funny. I don't know if you've seen "Don't Call It Love." Have any of you seen it?
I haven't.
No, you got to watch it. It's hilarious. And the reason why I say this is because in the video, they're in this club, and you see these big buff Jack guys just flexing while they're singing. And one of those Jack guys happened to be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Like it took me, I watched the video 3 times to, and it got me to notice, like, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger. What's he doing in this video?
Yeah.
And how much did he pay for that? But one thing about Girls' School, they were like, one of the first, heavy metal band from the new wave British scene. And Motorhead actually took them out. Like they were the ones that supported them. So, you could thank Lemmy for everything he did for Girls' School. He told them that they were really good and they wanted them to open up for him, and they did. And that's what really got their career started. And till this day, they're still around. They're doing really well. One of the bands, I have to look this up here, but one of the, I believe her name was Kelly Johnston, who was the guitarist and singer. Cancer actually. So, yes, but they're still around. And yeah, they're great. They're a great band, really underrated. So I hope they keep going, and I hope they get the better recognition that they deserve.
Yeah,
I think. And I think you guys should definitely look them up if you don't know any girls' school.
Yeah, I don't,
but
I do need to look them up.
Yeah, you'll love them. Great band, really good band. Number 2, what's number 2 for me, Josh?
Runaways.
Well, I mean, we mentioned Lita Ford and Joan Jett. The Runaways, female rock bands from the 70s. I have an album right here, Queens of Noise, one of my favorite albums. One of my favorite songs from this album has to be I Love Playing with Fire. Just the vocals in that is really amazing.
Yeah.
But I respect these girls because they, one of the first, rock bands from that era to really step up into the rock scene and step up to the guys. I mean, that movie that you mentioned, I don't know how accurate it really is, but, according to that movie, a lot of guys were throwing things at them while they were playing, and they just kept going. And I'm like, just keep going, girls.
Yeah.
Tell them who's your cherry bomb now. I didn't say that. Because they love playing with fire. Look at me, I'm making all these references. But yeah, the Runaway, great band. I'm glad that they, managed to keep going as good as they could. I know they broke up due to some differences, and also with their manager. I don't know if I really want to talk about him because he wasn't the best, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah, Kim Fowley, right? He's actually famous for writing a lot of songs with people. He actually wrote King of the Nighttime World with Kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's
Fowley,
a strange dude.
Kim Fowley was a genius in some ways. He knew what he was doing with the groups.
Yeah.
But there were a few things that he did that I did not like. But,
no, yeah, right. Yeah.
But I will give it to him. He did do some things for the band that were great, but other than that, I don't really care for him. But on the side of that, let's move on. What's number 1? Oh, well, look at that. I have a book about it right here.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yes. I haven't read this. I was trying to read this book yesterday, but I got interrupted. So I'm going to read this book after I get off because I love Lita. And just like you said, Out for Blood, yeah, it wasn't a commercially successful album. And actually the reason why, this is according to Lita, she said that the president of the record company, I believe it was Mercury Records, didn't know what to do with her, and he was a country guy. So he didn't really care, I guess, about what the album was or how it was produced.
Yeah,
according to
that makes a big difference when you're releasing an album, especially back then, is having a team that knows what to do with it.
Right.
If they don't, it's just gonna end up dead in the water, kind of like that one, in a way, did. I mean, I'm sure it did fine, especially to today's standards.
I would say in today's standards, it's gained a following because it really isn't a bad album.
No,
I listened to it several times and said, "This album's great. Why didn't it get the recognition that it deserved?"
It probably had a lot to do with pushing it. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't push it very well because the president was, according to Lita, the president was a country guy.
Yeah.
He didn't really care about that. But again, she nailed it when she, left the Runaways and, got motivated by Eddie Van Halen, by all people. She was at a gas station and Eddie apparently just saw her and said, "You need to get back into it, girl." He didn't really say it like that, but she decided to take that option, and she did. She fought through it, and she made several great albums. In fact, the second album features one of my favorite drummers of all time, Randy Castillo, who played for Ozzy and also Motley Crue.
Yep.
Great drummer, and I miss him a lot because I think he was very underrated.
There's a fantastic documentary on him if you ever get a chance to watch it. I think I watched it on Amazon Prime.
I feel like I might have watched it. Did it mention anything about a bus? No.
I don't know about that. It talked about him, from his Indian heritage and stuff like that. It is very good.
The documentary I was watching on him was apparently he was on the touring with John 5, and I guess some guy, the bus guy, didn't treat him right or something. So I guess he the bus guy was like apologizing, but then I guess Randy said, "Oh, I already took care of you," and then all of a sudden they go back outside and the bus is like in the ground.
Oh,
and John claims that Randy did some weird Indian stuff, and I'm like, probably maybe he did.
You know what? There might have been something like that on the end of that. Yeah, I think you're right.
But those are my top fives. Yeah, I think Lita is probably my favorite female performer out of all of them. But
yeah,
there they are.
So when we do our final top five, I see 1, kind of 2, 3 that were in mind. So those might have to make it into the final top five. Let's see what Josh comes up with.
I would say we see a lot of similarities, and I see a couple that I have as well. So
nice, very cool, very cool. The ones that weren't in mind, Girl School and Pat Benatar, are very good picks, man.
Yeah, and we got Nikki. You got people jealous meeting. What was it? Joan Jett. You got a little debate. They think you need a girl to sing with the band, and then Jody says no, you just need T-Bone. So,
well, how about this? T-Bone can dress like a lady and sound like a lady. It could work.
He does, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he can pull it off.
A nice little debate.
In all seriousness, it's been discussed before of doing like a duet with him and a girl, and it was actually Close My Eyes Forever that we were talking about doing, but we never ended up doing it. You never know. Something could happen where we do it later on down the road, but
I think you guys should definitely do it. I can't think of any local female band in the scene that you guys know of, but yeah, I think you should try it.
Yeah, I know a couple girls that can sing really well, but that's for later. We'll figure that on down the road. What we like doing with our show is adding new and different things to the show to keep it interesting, whether it be new songs or new moments or whatever like that. So, that would be a one-off. If we ever did it, it would maybe be like one time at, a show. But again, that was something that was discussed a long time ago. It's not really anything that we're planning on doing anytime soon.
That's something if you got a gig on like February 14th, it's like that would be the perfect time to drop. It's all about timing. Like that'd be the perfect time to drop like a Close My Eyes Forever duet, like around Valentine's Day kind of thing. But that'd be, if you guys do that, definitely do Close My Eyes Forever.
Yeah, that'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Jody here said, well, just get a guest artist.
Yeah,
she's his girlfriend's mom, so she's gonna be partial.
I say you just pull a girl from the crowd and see what happens.
That could work.
I think
Kip Winger,
T-Bone, and Jody do Close My Eyes Forever.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, look, Kip Winger does that. He pulls a female from the audience and has them sing Miles Away. So hey, it could work.
Oh, yeah, that could be cool.
All right, so we'll go to my top five. So like I said, we have a couple in common. Pat Benatar is my 5.
Nice.
Tons of classic songs. Loves the Battlefield, Treat Me Right, Heartbreaker. Like Seebass said, Invincible, Shadows of the Night's one of my favorite ones. She was discovered at an amateur night, which I always find it interesting where you find people at the most weirdest places. Like she was founded at an amateur night at a comedy club in New York by Terry Ellis, and I'll probably mispronounce this, but Chrysalis Records in 1977. So just hanging out, comedy club, singing. They're like, oh, I think we might have something here. Then turns into Pat Benatar. So that's kind of crazy. It was her big break. Her mother was a trained opera vocalist. Mm-hmm. So the genes was there for sure. She took on the name Benatar after her first marriage, and it just kind of stuck even when she got divorced. So she kept the name, and a lot of what Seabass already said. Tons of hits. I had like 30 hit songs. I mean, she just literally delivered hit after hit after hit. Any of these top 5, I could put in any order, and I'd have been okay with it. This was really difficult to narrow it to 5, and especially put these 5.
Yeah.
But another one, Heart, which we know
look at that heart.
Heart's gonna make our group top 5 because of everybody.
Yeah, we all picked it.
Alone and the classic love ballad songs. I mean, they just find Heart. Looks could kill. What about love? Like Nikki said, nothing at all. They were, like Nikki also said, they were surged in the 80s. They're sisters. She owned her own studio in Seattle called Bad Animals. And Soundgarden, REM, and Pearl Jam all recorded in there. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, they're from Seattle, right? Heart?
Yep. And then in 95, their 1995 live album, The Road Home, was produced by Led Zeppelin bassist John Paul Jones, who specifically requested they not cover any Zeppelin songs, but he did allow them to cover one. And they allowed her to cover a couple of their originals, just not release them. So she has them close to her heart somewhere, just not for us to hear. So that was pretty interesting, but definitely a big fan of Heart. It's one of my mom's favorite bands of the 80s as well. So I was a little kid, I heard Alone on like repeat all the damn time, which it's a great song, but Stevie Nicks was number 3. I don't say
Stevie. Stevie Nicks.
So Fleetwood Mac. So that song Dreams is like reborn this year from that commercial that's on TV. You hear it all the time. It actually finished on the Billboard charts this year as the number 19 song of 2020, which is crazy considering how old that song is. But it's also pretty badass that song still has that kind of following all these years later. I think that's pretty cool. Stop Dragging My Heart Around, Edge of 17, Leather and Lace, Rooms on Fire, Landslide.
And one of the most identifiable voices in music, in general. You hear her, it's her. I mean, there's no one like her.
Yeah, she was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice.
Right? Solo artist.
Yep, she just got inducted it's 2021 now, 2 years ago in 2019. She was the first woman to be inducted into the Hall of Fame as a member of a group and solo for her solo career. So that's pretty cool. In 1986, she flew to Australia simply to ride along with Tom Petty and Bob Dylan as they toured there. But during one tour stop, the Rockers invited Nicks on stage with them during a song, and she obliged. The performance violated the terms of the tourist visa, and Australian authorities told her she's never going to be allowed back in the country again. So she was banned from Australia.
Wow.
Okay. Well, that just happened.
Yeah, so I tried to find facts that were kind of interesting, but maybe somewhat. I found that very noteworthy and very interesting that she got banned from Australia just for performing a song.
Wow.
Is she still banned from Australia?
She is. That was a lifelong ban.
Wow.
So I hope she's not a fan of Australia that much because I hope it. It kind of sucks. But
I could see the Australian fans going in and trying to go see her in America.
Yeah, that'd be the easiest way for them. Joan Jett again, number 2.
There we go.
Same reason. There's another Hate Myself for Loving You. Cherry Bomb, probably my favorite song from her. Every Day, Little Liar, Crimson and Clover, Contact. It's funny, her dad hated rock and roll, but he dealt with it because of her love for it, which is kind of funny because my parents hate my pop music love, and they kind of dealt with it as I grew up because, like I said, I was born in the 90s when NSYNC and Backstreet Boys ruled, and that's what I thought existed until I was like 13, 14. Then my dad started letting me listen to rock and roll, and I was like, why am I listening to NSYNC? You know what I mean? Like, this is so much better. But Joan Jett and the Blackhearts were bigger than the Scorpions in their own country. So that was pretty interesting.
Wow.
Bigger than the Scorpions. That's impressive.
I seen Dave posted here that I Love Rock and Roll is actually a cover.
It is. I forget the name of the group.
You listed. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Done by Canadian band The Arrows. Okay.
Yep, that's right. Yeah. It's funny. I actually found that out like 5 years ago in 2015. And it shocked me because the song I Love Rock and Roll sound like something she made. That. But finding out that it was actually a cover, it's like, whoa. And in fact, there's actually a lot of those 80s songs that are covers that you don't know are covers. And it's kind of interesting how these rockers are actually making those covers into their own own originals, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
We have a lot of similar stuff here. And number one, Lita Ford.
Oh, of course.
Very
Yes. Gotta love her.
My Eyes Forever, Kiss Me Deadly, Shot of Poison. I mean, at 16 years old, she was recruited to sing. So, like, they knew she had the ability right away. She was recruited by a recording artist, Kim Fowley, to join an all-female rock band. She was assembly called The Runaways, obviously. They soon secured a recording contract, released her first album in 1976. The media was all over them. They instantly became successful, touring and recording. Ford's guitar playing became an integral element of the band's sound until they broke up in April of '79 over kind of just internal conflicts. They didn't really go into any crazy detail, but definitely it was hard between her and Joan Jett. I'll be honest with you. These are my top two, and Close My Eyes Forever kind of put it over the top. It's literally one of my favorite songs there are. It's one of those things, like, if we ever were to be like, hey, what's your top 10 favorite songs? Like, that's an impossible question. It depends what mood you're in, how you feel, you know, where you're at, the people around you, all that can dictate it. But Lita Ford was my number one. So that goes Lita Ford, Joan Jett, Stevie Nicks, Heart, and Pat Benatar is my top five.
Yeah, it's crazy how we all had very similar answers.
Well, fun fact about Lita, I don't know if you saw this, Josh, but Lita was originally going to play the bass for the Runaways.
Really? I didn't know that.
I forgot who was the bass player in the Runaways to begin with, but I guess their guitar player, well, if I remember correctly, I think their guitar player quit, and then she kind of just stepped up and said, okay, I'll play guitar instead, because that's what I was originally supposed to do.
Oh.
But yeah, she was going to play bass, and I thought that was like, it'd be interesting to see Lita play bass.
Yeah.
Well, people in the comments, we pretty much have our top four because we all agreed on four. So we don't really have a five.
Yeah, we need you guys to help us order it too. So if you guys would leave some comments on like who's one, who's two, who's three, who's four, who's five.
Yeah, so the recap.
Obviously, I think we got to have Joan Jett in there. We got to have Lita Ford in there.
Yep.
We got to have Hart in there. And who else did we agree on? You guys agreed on one, I think.
Yeah, so Joan Jett, Lita Ford, and Hart we agreed on. Pat Benatar.
Yeah, Pat Benatar. I think I don't know if he said the Runaways, but they're basically the same for Lita and Joan. Mm-hmm. So I think it was Benatar and the Hart and the rest.
And then we need a fifth one that we can throw on there. But yeah, a couple other honorable mentions. I don't know if some of these were in the comments or not, but Orianthi's fantastic guitar player. She played with Michael Jackson, played with Alice Cooper a little bit. Vixen.
Yes, Vixen's a great band.
Metal band. Edge of Broken Heart.
Because they were on the edge of the broken heart.
Yeah.
And they don't want to stop.
Yeah. They got a new guitar player, and her name's Britt Lightning. She's really, really good. Definitely worth checking out. Who else we got here? Doro, which she has an awesome song.
Here's another honorable mention. I don't know if you would really count them. Actually, I would, but they're not like, metal or anything. But I do have respect for them. The Go-Go's.
Oh, yeah. The Go-Go's. What was their big song?
Wow, I'm drawing a blank here. I can usually get that song right ahead.
The Go-Go's and the Bangles.
The Bangles, yeah. Walk like an Egyptian. They walk
like an Egyptian.
Our Lips Are Sealed, Cool Jerk, Get Up and Go. I don't know if this is ranked in any specific kind of order.
Oh, yeah, Our Lips Are Sealed. That was the song I was thinking of.
Yeah, I remember We Got the Beat. Our Lips Are Sealed.
Yeah, that's the one.
Head Over Heels. I know Our Lips Are Sealed has been covered like 4 or 5 times between now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, several times.
All right, let's see if we can put this together. My other honorable mention I was going to say was Wendy Williams with the Plasmatics.
Oh, yes, good one.
She's crazy. She's like almost like an Alice Cooper-ish character back in the 80s, sawing up TVs and all kinds of stuff. Russ Ward says, Debbie Harry, isn't that Blondie?
Mm-hmm.
I actually do have one more honorable mention. She kind of just came to me, and I think one of the people here did comment it. I don't know who, but Lee Aaron.
Yeah, there was one.
Who is that?
Lee Aaron. I know a few of her good songs. Metal Queen, great. She has a really good voice. But she's like Metal Queen, rock us all. Great performer. In fact, she reminds me so much of Dio. Like,
oh, really?
Picture Dio as a female. That's her. Wow. She's really good. You got to look her up.
No, Cody just mentioned Janis Joplin. No, I think that fits.
Yeah,
she's maybe late 60s, early 70s, maybe, but amazing singer, amazing artist in general.
I thought the same thing. I was like, yeah, she's a little bit late 60s, early 70s for this list, but she's one that came to mind too. I know we had somebody say Tina Turner as well.
Tina Turner, yeah.
And she crossed over into the genre a lot during her career. That's kind of why I didn't have her, because she was kind of she do it every now and then, but she wasn't really necessarily like rock and roll.
I love. Sorry, I'm distracted by this comment of Happy Days. I used to watch Happy Days all the time.
Sunday, Mondays, Happy Days.
It used to be on Nick at Night on Nickelodeon back in the day.
Yeah, I used to watch that, and they would play
it all the time.
I used to watch the old school orange videotapes of Nickelodeon, and that would play before, like, I was a Rugrats kid, Hey Arnold, all that kind of stuff. Before that would come on, it would always play Happy Days.
Yeah.
Always at the intro of the video. So I remember, like, putting it on when I was a kid, laying there, because I'm the kind of person still to this day that I need background noise before I go to sleep. And I just remember hearing that damn song all the time. And it'll be a song I'll know forever.
Yeah.
Great hey, yo, Dave, Lee Aaron's working on a new CD. Do you know what it's called? Let me know, because I actually did not know that.
Leather Tuscadero.
From Happy Days, Jody said.
Sunday, Mondays, Happy Days.
Listen,
for us, we had 4 on multiple lists. We had Benatar, Hart, Jet, Ford.
Okay. Let's see how we can put this together. So, what was Joan Jett for you guys? 2 for Josh and kind of 2 for Seabass. So she was 1 for me. And what, Lita Ford was number 1 for both of you guys, right?
Correct. Yeah. Lita Ford was number 1 for both.
2 for me, so I think we go Lita Ford at number 1, Joan Jett at number 2.
Okay. I can see that. Yeah. Because again, I mean, Joan Jett, because I mentioned the Runaways, and they're, the Runaways with Joan and Lita are kind of the same. So putting Joan in number 2 would be fine, I guess. So I take it. And somebody said Whitesnake.
Hart was on everybody's list. 4
for you, 3 for me,
3 for you, and 5 for Seabass.
5 for Seabass. So that could be 3 or 4, right?
I put Hart at 3.
Put Hart at 3?
That's what I would put.
Lita at 1, Joan Jett at 2, Hart at 3.
Then we had 2. So Benatar was 5 of mine.
I think Pat Benatar could be 4 or 5.
Okay, we can put her, because 5 would be a toss-up between the ones left: Stevie Nicks, Lizzie Hale, Nita Strauss, Girls School. We're all also on our list.
So I would put Pat Benatar at 4.
4? Yeah.
Wow. This is going to be a hard one because I love Stevie Nicks.
Ooh, Stevie Nicks. Well, she was on both of your guys, right? Or she was just on Josh's?
It was just Josh. I mentioned Girls School because I wanted to mention a very underrated band, because I think they should get recognition, but it's just me. But
okay,
I don't know. It's kind of hard right now because I love Stevie.
Put this on the banner if you would, Josh. 1, Lita Ford. Oh, you already have it? Or
we have it. 5 is undecided.
Lita, 2 Joan Jett, 3 Hart, 4 Pat Benatar, and 5
to be determined. We don't have a 5.
Okay, let's pick one. I'm good with Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, I had to say Stevie. I mean, I wanted to say Girls School so bad, but I got to put it for Steve.
Deborah,
Stevie is just up there.
We have a vote for Stevie.
Right there. Okay.
Oh, Russ Ward says, okay, I think we have Stevie at number, is it 4 or 5?
5.
Okay.
Christ said Madonna.
Madonna's a good one.
Good one.
More pop, Madonna.
More pop to me, but
Stevie.
there are a lot of votes for Stevie, so I think Stevie Nicks is number 5.
He is number 5. All right.
All good. Is everyone good in the comments with our top 5 here? With 1, Lita Ford, Joan Jett 2, 3, Hart, Pat Benatar 4, Stevie Nicks 5. I like it.
I think that's a good list. Yeah, I agree.
And considering all the female women back then that were so good, it's hard to pick 5. We could have easily done 10, but it would have been a 4-hour podcast, so we can't do that. But I think it's a really good list. And
I like it.
I like it.
Everybody agrees. Cyndi Lauper, that was one I considered as well.
Yeah,
she was an honorable mention. I should have mentioned her.
Even though she's kind of pop, she's kind of a rock star in a way, you know.
I still have love for her for helping professional wrestling.
Yeah, I was gonna say she helped the wrestling become big, mainstream. Yep. So you got to really thank her for that. But so that's our list, and I like it.
I think we're still
I don't know.
We'll have to put that in the comments and or on the status our top 5, our group top 5. So, or should we just make people watch it?
Well, I think we should make. I don't know. Maybe we should make people watch it. Just have them decide, and then we get notifications, and then we'll just say, okay.
Yeah,
that's.
Do you agree with our top 5 and just see how many people?
Yeah. Do you agree with our top picks? Let us know.
Let us know if you agree with our top 5. If you don't, that's awesome.
I'll tell you, I do top 10 lists for the website all the time, and people hate them.
Yeah.
I did a Justin Bieber one. They hated it. I did Drake. They hated it.
Wait. Drake who? Like Drake Bell?
No, the rapper Drake.
The guy. Let's check. Okay.
The only one that people did like was my Van Halen top 10. So I'm okay with that.
Hey, Van Halen's great. Gotta love it.
I think I said that to both you guys and got your blessing. So I think that one was okay.
I think we're seeing some thumbs up for the top 5.
Yeah, Ricky Bryant said some good things. Cody said some good things.
Yeah, well, in rock and roll,
70s, 80s,
we're doing this based off 70s and 80s. We threw a couple modern ones at you, but they were kind of linked to the 70s and 80s,
It's funny. I saw this name, Gwen Stefani.
Yeah,
because when I was researching. You do the vague.
Early 90s too, right? Early 94-ish, 95.
She's still coming out with music to this day.
Yeah.
I know she erupted early 2000s with a couple huge hits, but
yeah,
it's crazy she's been around that long. I didn't realize she's been around that long.
Yeah. Yep.
That's funny. I didn't realize how long she was out either. Huh. Well, good for her.
Celine Dion is incredible.
Yeah.
Celine Dion. I like her.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do one, maybe around Valentine's, we can do like our top 5 rock love ballads or something.
Yes.
That would be fantastic. Yes.
Because I know somebody in the comments earlier said we should do top 5, since we were talking about rock videos, do our top 5 rock music videos.
I
think that was, I could be wrong, but I think that was Jody.
I think so.
I think she mentioned that, and I caught that too. It's like, that's not a bad idea.
No, there's like top 5, top 10s and stuff for people love debating those. Trust me, I get messages. I wake up like, your Bieber list sucks. Like, thanks, dude. I appreciate you reading. I want to hear yours. Like, it's a great debate thing because it's everybody's particular taste. So there's no really wrong answer because
somebody write those down. I think this is like the second or third. This is the second or third show that Denise has suggested and we actually used.
Oh, right? It's Denise. Okay, sorry, Denise.
And
I remember. Thank you, Denise.
Yeah. So we owe her. Yes, it's
Denise, you're the person that really comes up with good ideas for us. So keep coming up with some good ideas. You're good.
Yeah. Sometimes it's the hardest thing to do. I go to plan my shows each week and I'm like, what do I talk about? What if like it's a slow sports week or wrestling? It's like,
Right.
You just got to roll with it, and that's where the fans come in.
That's what's been kind of tough with these, is because the music world's very slow right now, so there's not a ton to talk about. But we can always go back on topics, and eventually we're gonna have some guests on here. So I'm gonna look into that as well, maybe for even the next show. So, but cool, I like it. I like our top 5. You want to throw that back up?
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to Jody coming over and singing some karaoke at my house.
Karaoke, you can't really get out and do that much anymore.
You know what? I was I had a couple days where I had to stay at home. About a month ago, and me and my wife did a bunch of karaoke in the basement. So I got a bar down there, right? So we had to set up.
I was gonna say, I got the bar,
a karaoke station. So,
you know what you should do?
We're
You should
gonna
run
have karaoke parties, and you two are coming.
But you should also run like a business, like in Family Guy, the Clam. Have your own bar. It's the karaoke bar, and get down there and have all the guys come in.
Yeah, we definitely have Tristan. He can sing anything.
Yeah, like I don't go out much, but those are the places that I do. Like I like karaoke kind of environments. It's really chill. Like once you get the courage to go up there, then it is what it is. Like it's fun.
I can't do it. I can't sing to save my life.
Me neither.
But it was fun when me and my wife were just doing it down here in the basement. It was a good time.
I'll have to add that to my resolutions for 2021 to do karaoke with T-Bone, but he needs to like stay in one place.
He's the guy to do it.
I can't keep up with him running around though.
We'll have a party down here one of these times and do some karaoke down here.
Yeah, maybe I'll try to do some karaoke with them. I'll probably lose, but I'll dance around like Michael Jackson. Maybe that can work.
Nick, you got some love as a great singer.
Yeah, he's a liar. Oh, shoot.
No, hey, listen, you look like
list.
I like the list. Oh, nothing. I don't know why, but I was gonna say, hey, look, you're an awesome guitar player, right? And I've always stated that you look like Vivian Campbell. Just go up there and sing like Vivian Campbell.
Yeah,
You'll get it down.
I wish. Maybe one day. We'll see. But cool. I love the top 5. I think we've been on here long enough. I think it's time to sign out, and we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We'll hopefully we'll announce a topic a little sooner and promote it. And like I said, hopefully we'll have a guest on here. I got a couple ideas. So cool. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I appreciate you all hanging out with us, and till next time. Peace.
Later.
Take care.
Seebass.
Yep. Take care and keep rocking.